There was a man named Naaman. Naaman was a very important man. He was the commander of the army of the king of Aram. This means he was the leader of all the soldiers. When Naaman spoke, soldiers listened. When Naaman planned a battle, the army won. People clapped for him. People praised him. People said Naaman is strong. Naaman is brave. Naaman is a hero. Naaman lived in a big house. He wore fine clothes. He rode strong horses. Many servants worked for him. Everywhere he went, people bowed. To everyone watching from outside, Naaman's life looked perfect. He had power. He had respect. He had money. He had everything a man could want. But Naaman had a big secret. Under his fine clothes, Naaman's skin was sick. He had a bad disease called leprosy. His skin had painful sores. Some days it hurt, some days it scared him. He could not tell many people because they might fear him or avoid him. So Naaman smiled in public, but inside he was worried. At night, when the house was quiet, Naaman sometimes looked at his hands and felt sad. He would think, I win battles, but I cannot win against this sickness. No doctor could help him. No soldier could fight it. No money could buy healing. This made Naaman feel weak, even though he was strong. So there Naaman was, a great man, a brave leader, loved by the king and feared by enemies, but quietly suffering from a sickness he could not hide forever. And this was where his journey truly began, because help was about to come from a place he never expected. Naaman's house was always busy. Servants walked up and down, cleaning, cooking, and helping in every way. Among these servants was a small, young girl. She was not from Aram, she was from Israel. The girl did not come to Aram by choice. Soldiers had taken her from her home during a war, and now she worked in Naaman's house. She was far away from her parents. She was far away from everything she knew. Even though she was small and far from home, she had something special in her heart, faith. Every day the girl saw Naaman. She saw how strong he looked outside, but she also noticed his sadness. She saw how carefully he covered his skin. She heard whispers among the servants. She knew her master was sick. Instead of laughing or being happy about his pain, the little girl felt sorry for him. Her heart was kind. One day, while helping Naaman's wife, the girl spoke softly. She said, I wish my master could go to the prophet in my land. The prophet in Israel can heal him. She was talking about Elisha, the man of God she had heard about back home. The girl spoke with hope, not fear. She did not shout. She did not boast. She just shared what she believed. Naaman's wife listened carefully. She was surprised. How could healing come from such a simple place? How could a small girl know such a big answer? Still, her words stayed in her heart. Later, Naaman heard about what the girl had said. He thought about it deeply. He had tried everything else. Doctors had failed him. Now this small girl was pointing him toward hope. And just like that, a tiny voice from a small servant girl began to move a great man toward a journey that would change his life forever. After Naaman heard the words of the small servant girl, he could not stop thinking about them. He walked around his house. He sat down. He stood up again. His mind was busy. What if this is true? He thought. What if I can be healed? Naaman knew one thing. He could not go to Israel by himself. He was a great commander, but he still served the king of Aram. So Naaman went to the king and told him everything. He told him about the sickness. He told him about the small girl from Israel. He told him about the prophet who could heal. The king listened carefully. He liked Naaman very much because Naaman won battles for him. The king did not want to lose his best commander, so the king said, Go, I will help you. The king wrote a letter to the king of Israel. The letter was serious and strong. It said, I am sending my servant Naaman to you. Heal him from his sickness. The king also gave Naaman many gifts. He gave him silver. He gave him gold. He gave him fine clothes. The king thought, big problems need big gifts. He believed healing could be bought like a service. Naaman packed everything. He got his horses ready. His servants followed him. With hope in his heart, gifts in his hands, Naaman began his journey to Israel. As the dust rose behind the horses, Naaman did not know what waited for him ahead, but he was moving forward, holding on to hope. Step by step, mile by mile, Naaman and his servants finally reached the land of Israel. The journey was long, but they did not stop. They went straight to the palace of the king of Israel. Horses stood outside. Servants waited. Naaman walked in with confidence, holding the letter from the king of Aram. The letter was given to the king of Israel. As the king read it, his face changed. His eyes grew wide. His hands began to shake. He sent a message to the king. He said, "Why are you afraid? Why did you tear your clothes? Send the man to me, and he will know there is a prophet in Israel." Hope entered the story again. The problem that frightened the king did not frighten God. And now, Naaman was about to meet the prophet who would change everything. After the message from Elisha reached the palace, the king of Israel quickly sent Naaman away to Elisha's house. The king felt relieved. He thought, "Now the problem is no longer in my hands." Naaman rode with his horses and servants to the prophet's home. It was not a palace. It was not big or shiny. Still, Naaman stopped outside with pride. His horses stood tall. His servants lined up. Naaman expected Elisha to come out, bow, and speak kind words to him. But something surprising happened. Elisha did not come out. Instead, Elisha sent a servant with a simple message. The servant said, "Go and wash yourself 7 times in the Jordan River. Then your skin will be clean and you will be healed." Naaman was shocked. This was not what he expected at all. He thought the prophet would come out, wave his hands, and say powerful words. He thought healing would be loud and special. But the message was simple. Too simple. Naaman's face grew hot with anger. He felt insulted. "Is this how they treat a great commander?" he thought. His pride began to rise like fire in his heart. Naaman turned away in anger, ready to leave. He did not know that this simple instruction was the key to his healing. Naaman walked away from Elisha's house, with anger burning inside him. His face was tight. His hands were shaking. He could not believe what had just happened. A great man like him had traveled so far, and the prophet did not even come out to see him. Naaman spoke loudly to his servants. "I thought the prophet would come out," he said. "I thought he would stand before me, call on his God, wave his hand, and heal me." Naaman felt disrespected. In his heart, he was saying, "Do they know who I am?" Then Naaman complained even more. He said, "The rivers in my land are better than the rivers in Israel. Are they not cleaner? Are they not bigger?" He felt the Jordan River was too small and too ordinary. To him, it did not look special enough to bring healing. Naaman was full of pride. Pride told him, "You are too important for this." Pride told him, "This is not how great people are healed." Because of pride, Naaman almost missed his blessing. As people say today, pride can block good things. Naaman turned his horses around. He was ready to go back home, the same way he came, still sick, still hurting, still angry. His servants followed quietly. They could see their master's anger, but they also knew this might be his last chance. And just as Naaman was about to leave everything behind, someone decided to speak. As Naaman rode away in anger, his servants followed him quietly. They could see how upset he was. Dust rose from the horses' feet, and the journey back home had already started. But the servants were thinking deeply. They loved their master, and they did not want him to miss his chance to be healed. One of the servants finally gathered courage and spoke gently. He did not shout. He did not argue. He spoke with respect. He said, "My master, if the prophet had asked you to do something very hard, would you not have done it?" Naaman did not answer right away. The servant continued, "If he had asked you to climb a mountain or fight a great battle, you would have done it without fear. So why not do this small thing?" He only said, "Wash and be clean." The words were simple, but they were wise. They touched Naaman's heart. Another servant nodded in agreement. They were saying, in today's words, sometimes simple things bring big results. Naaman slowed his horse. He became quiet. His anger began to cool. He thought about the long journey. He thought about his sickness. He thought about how close he was to giving up. Slowly, pride stepped back. Humility stepped in. Naaman took a deep breath and said nothing. Then he turned his horse around again, this time not in anger, but in hope. Naaman and his servants walked quietly toward the Jordan River. The river was not big or beautiful. It did not shine like a palace. It looked ordinary. But this time, Naaman did not complain. He had already decided to obey. When they reached the river, Naaman stopped. He looked at the water. For a moment, He felt shy and unsure. He was a great commander, but now he had to do something simple, like a child. Still, he remembered the words of his servants and stepped forward. Naaman went into the water the first time. When he came out, he looked at his skin. Nothing had changed. He went in the second time. Still nothing changed. The third time, the fourth time, the fifth time. Still no change. Some people might have stopped and said, "This is not working." But Naaman kept going. He trusted the instruction. As people say today, don't quit when you are almost there. The sixth time, Naaman went under the water again. He came out and looked. Still, his skin was sick. His heart beat fast. One more time remained. Then, Naaman went into the water the seventh time. When he came out, something amazing happened. His skin became clean. It became soft and fresh, like the skin of a young child. The sickness was gone. Naaman stood there in shock. He touched his arms. He touched his face. He was healed. Joy filled his heart. Tears filled his eyes. He knew this was not magic. He knew this was the power of God. Naaman's body was healed. But something else was changing too. His heart was changing.